Bruce Bochy made a big shakeup in the Rangers lineup, and it made a huge difference. But we get to find out if this Rangers offense is actually fixed, if Corey Seager goes on the IL. We're going to talk about all that and more on this episode of Locked On Rangers. Let's get into it.
You are Locked On Rangers, your daily Texas Rangers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are locked onto the Texas Rangers, the first and best daily Rangers podcast. I'm Bryce Patrick, a cripplingly addicted Texas Rangers fan, covering this team for 12 seasons, including all 7 as the founder and host of this podcast. Thank you all so much for making Locked On Rangers your first listen every single day. If you're not already, you can follow me on Twitter at Bryce Patrick. You can follow the show at Locked On Rangers. Hit subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform and on YouTube, where the best way you can help grow the show is to comment nearly any single thing below. Now, on today's show, I'm talking about the Rangers making a big change in their lineup, the best offensive day of the season for this Rangers team, and unfortunately, as soon as things start going right, we get some things that start going wrong. But let's get into this Rangers lineup. Bruce Bochy made a dramatic change. It may not seem as dramatic, but Corey Seager hitting somewhere other than second in the Rangers order, that has not happened in a long time. A very long time. A very, very long time. In fact, the last time that it happened, Wyatt Langford was still at Florida. That's not all that long ago. Josh Smith was not Pookie, nor an all-star, nor a Silver Slugger, nor a World Series champion even. None of these teams, none of these people. Well, Corey Seager was, but basically none of this team were World Series champions. It was July 17th, 2022, his first season in Texas. That was the last time Corey Seager hit anywhere other than second to start a game. Now, he did pinch hit last year in August, and that was in the 8-hole. He struck out in that spot. But other than that, it has been, what was it? Where'd we go? I just had this. 341 straight starts for Corey Seager in the 2-hole. That's where he felt most comfortable. That's where he's done his damage. That's where he hit a high drive that tied the game with one swing, and all kinds of other magical moments. But with an offense in so much of a funk, Bruce Bochy said, all right, it's time to switch things up. He also said after the game that he didn't want to make a big lineup shift. He might have done this earlier, but he wanted to make sure that Wyatt Langford was back and healthy before he made this big ol' shakeup in the Rangers lineup. He had Josh Smith playing center field and hitting leadoff. Love that change. Wyatt Langford playing left field and hitting second. Interesting. Good results so far. Corey Seager playing short, hitting third. Adolis Garcia batting cleanup. Marcus Semien hitting fifth. Jock Peterson all the way down to the 6th hole in this lineup, and then rounded up by Josh Young, Jake Berger, Kyle Higashioka. That bottom 3, I don't know if it will change. Maybe it will switch up a little bit if Jock Peterson continues his 0 for streak. He's now 0 for 41. Shout out to Dirk Nowitzki. Not shout out to Jock Peterson, because that was it's getting rough for Jock Peterson. We might see a phantom IL stint at some point here if he cannot get things right, especially in Oakland, because this is a hitter's paradise. Excuse me, not Oakland, because Oakland itself is not a hitter's paradise, but West Sacramento, where this Sutter Health Park is oh my goodness. I knew it was a bit of a hitter-friendly park, but you go and you look at the park factors on Baseball Reference, not the multi-year factors. Those aren't as dramatic as the 1-year factors, where 100 is average. 100 is average, and the higher the number, the more hitter-friendly it is. You look at the batting, and it is 137 in favor of hitters. Now, part of that is it's been, 20 games or so? No, it's not even been 20 games that the A's have played at home. They've played 23 games so far, so maybe 10 games. And maybe part of that is because the A's hitters are very good and the A's pitchers are not very good. And so both teams have hit well when they've played in this park. But also part of it is because you look at that breeze out there last night. There were a few home runs that I'm not sure were going to be home runs in other parks. You look at the park factors and the expected home runs. Those don't take into account. Those just take into account the distances, the how far the fences are. It doesn't take into account the wind, the temperature, the things like that. And this park had quite a breeze blowing out there to left center field, including on that Wyatt Langford home run. But 8 runs for this Rangers squad on the day, 10 hits, 6 walks. Now, I think the 6 walks made a bigger difference than the hits, because the Rangers have had a lot of big hit games. They have done a good job of that, but they have not been quite as patient of a team. In fact, they've been one of the least patient teams in baseball. And when you're in a collective team-wide slump, it's harder to get guys to be patient, because everybody wants to break out of that slump. Everybody wants to be the one to deliver the big hit, to break the skid, to just have that extra moment. And you start getting worse and worse pitches. And the Rangers have quite a few guys in their lineup that, can be pretty selective. Not having Evan Carter here and healthy hurts that a little bit, because he is Mr. Walk, Mr. Plate Discipline, as is Josh Smith, as is Wyatt Langford. Seager, not a big walk guy. Semien, not a big walk guy. Jock Peterson, when he's right, is. So him not being right also hurts this. But Josh Young finally worked his first walk of the season. Only took him until April 22nd. Attaboy, still counts. Marcus Semien working a walk, Langford and Smith working a walk. But you look at the top 3 of this order: Smith, Langford, and Seager. Those are the Rangers' best 3 hitters at this point this year, and it's not particularly close. And the best 2 are the ones that are hitting at the top of this lineup: Josh Smith and Wyatt Langford. A 3-hit day for Langford, who's now hitting .292 with an OPS north of 1,000. His team-leading 5th home run. His also not quite team-leading, but still very good 4th stolen base of the season. Should have been his 5th stolen base of the season. I thought that the replay was going to work Wyatt Langford over yet again. Thankfully, that didn't happen. But the biggest performer, unsurprisingly, back in his home area-ish, a Bay Area adjacent, the Cal Kid, of course, Marcus Semien. You may remember the last time that Marcus Semien started the year with the Rangers on a horrific slump. That was his first year in Texas. That was back the same year as the last time that Corey Seager hit anywhere other than second to start a game for the Texas Rangers in his tenure. It was awful. It was coming off of a lockout, coming off of a shortened spring training, coming off of, joining a new team, all the expectations and pressure of a big old contract for Semien. And it was rough for the first 6 weeks or so of the season. I mean, we're not quite that deep into the season. But if you do recall the moment that Marcus Semien broke out of that skid and started to hit like the Marcus Semien we now know and love, it was in Oakland. It was that grand slam in Oakland, which was his first home run of the season, which came at the very end of May. So maybe the key to getting Marcus Semien out of a slump is just face the A's early in the Bay Area, and that will get him out of his slump. And this is a very, very hitter-friendly park. I'm not entirely certain that Marcus Semien's home run would have been a home run elsewhere, but he hit the ball 103 miles an hour. He has been making good contact. He has been due for some of these hits to fall in, some of these bloop hits to fall in. He also worked a walk. He had 4 RBIs on the day, including the 3-run bomb that really, really broke it open in that moment. Just a great sign for Marcus to get right. The Rangers need him right. Actually, at a 770 expected batting average, that home run would have been a home run in 29 of 30 parks. The only one it wouldn't have been a home run in is Coors Field. Again, that shows you that it doesn't account for the elevation, because there's a whole lot of balls that are hit in Coors Field that would not be homers elsewhere because of how thin the air is. And I'm pretty sure if Marcus Semien hit a ball like that at that launch angle with all of those metrics on it, it would have been a home run in Coors Field, so all 30 parks. But just getting him on the board with that second home run of the season, I'm hoping that this ends up sticking. I think that having Smith in there every single day, not just 5 days a week, but every single day, whether he's playing center field, which again, I don't know why this Rangers squad is so terrified of playing Wyatt Langford in center field. He did it last year. He has done it before. He has done it very successfully. And I think eventually that's his long-term home. I mean, you look at his physical gifts, you look at how talented he is. Maybe they're trying to prevent him. Maybe they see the similarities between him and Mike Trout, and they're trying to prevent him from having a Troutian, eventual body breakdown and the wear and tear that it puts on you being in center field every day. That's the only thing that, to me, makes sense. But if you want to get the most out of Wyatt Langford and the most out of your outfield defense, I think that keeping Smith in a corner, like left field specifically, and then Wyatt Langford as your everyday center fielder is eventually the way to go. But whatever it was, it worked. I mean, the top of this Rangers order was humming. Corey Seager was putting together some really, really good at-bats until one fateful moment where he left this game early. I'm going to talk about why I'm so incredibly frustrated with Seager for this injury. And while it may not be his fault, it may not be his fault. Plus, we got, unfortunately, even more injury news to delve into. We're talking about that and more right after this. This show is brought to you by Supply House. Get the supplies you need from the site that's made for the skilled trades. Supply House. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is a reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400 plus top brands, you'll find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person. And for the trade pros looking for an extra edge, their free Trade Master program offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. Now, the Rangers unfortunately got a little bit of, at least a scare last night with Corey Seager leaving the game early. We're talking about injuries this segment. I want to start it off on a positive note because the Rangers do have some injured players that are eventually coming back. And probably the most recently, the one to come back soonest will be Jack Leiter. Last night, he threw a game of rehab. Sorry, my brain is broken. My camera pooped out on me while I was doing the first ad read and just honestly ruined my rhythm. But we're fine. We're fine. You know who had the rhythm? Jack Leiter last night. 4 1/3 innings, 60 pitches, just one hit, a single that was immediately erased on a double play, 1 walk, which was his first batter of the game, 4 strikeouts, exactly those 60 pitches. Velocity looked good. The stuff looked better than any AAA hitter has any business doing anything with, which is a very good sign for the Rangers and their rotation that has already been mostly fantastic. Last night was a solid outing from Corbin. We'll talk about that later. But Leiter going those 60 pitches, that was the plan. We'll see exactly when he returns to this Rangers rotation. I'm assuming it'll be Sunday. That would be my preference. Get him in here as soon as possible and say, Patrick Corbin, thank you for your 3 starts of sufficient work. Now, can you please be a very, very good long man and help us eat some innings whenever we need it? That is the goal. But last night, the biggest story of the game, almost more so than the Rangers' offensive explosion, was Corey Seager leaving the game early. He had right hamstring tightness, and he was running out of a ball that he had no shot of running out. 109.5 miles an hour, a ball that was hit basically right to the shortstop that pretty easily ran over there and got Wyatt Langford out and wasn't even going for Seager at first base. And for some reason, Seager was hustling. Now, some of you old school baseball heads may be saying, hey, you got to hustle out every single ball, every single ground ball. You got to be hustling 100% of the time. No. No, you don't. You absolutely do not. Now, if you are incredibly fast, if you are a guy who that's going to get you 5 to 10 more hits a season, then yeah, you should be hustling out those ground balls, routine ground balls to the infielders. If you have Wyatt Langford speed, if you have Ellie De La Cruz speed, if you have Chandler Simpson speed, then yeah, hustle out every single ground ball. But if you have Corey Seager speed, which is in the bottom 5% of baseball, and if you have Corey Seager's injury history, which includes hamstring strains to both different hamstrings. He missed a month in 2023 with a left hamstring strain. That's when Zeke Duran came up and had his best stretch of baseball we've ever seen, and looked like an all-star. Zeke Duran's not in that kind of a mode right now to come up and save this Rangers offense, which desperately needs a healthy Corey Seager. Then don't run. Stop running. Corey Seager, I do not want to see you hustling at all. He does not have a stolen base attempt. He is one of the few players on this Rangers roster who does not have a stolen base attempt. Jonah Heim has multiple. I would much rather see Jonah Heim hustling than Seager. Now, I think Seager at his apex speed is faster than Jonah Heim, but when you have a history of hamstring strains, that's the only time that you really could tweak that. We saw it with Nelson Cruz a couple of times where he was running out a routine ground ball to first base. He tweaked his hamstring, and then he's out 4 to 6 weeks. That's not worth it. The extra base hit you might get on stretching a double into a triple or a infield routine ground out into maybe a single, getting that once every 3 weeks is not worth your best hitter, your best overall hitter, being out for 3 weeks to a month to 6 weeks to maybe 2 months. Because these hamstring strains, the more you have them, the worse they get. So I don't know why in the world Seager was hustling this out. Hopefully he's okay. Hopefully it's just a scare. Hopefully it is not a full-on strain which would cause him to miss probably at the very least 3 weeks. More likely looking at about a month without Corey Seager, who is the best hitter in an offense that has not been very good so far. And it looked like the last week and a half, Corey Seager has just been as locked in as we've seen him in quite some time. As locked in as we've seen him at any point last year. Maybe not quite as locked in as he was in the postseason in 2023, but you cannot afford to have things like this happen. And it wasn't just Seager, unfortunately, we got injury news about yesterday. Just a real bummer of us just not being able to have any nice things. Mark Church has an oblique injury. These are all from Sean McFarland before the game. He's going to be down for 7 to 10 days with Roundrock. Winston Santos has a stress reaction in his back, and he will be out 8 to 10 weeks. You may remember stress reactions from such integral roles as they had with Cody Bradford, so that's not great. Also, just back injuries in general, super not great. Also, Paul Bonzagani, who was on the Dallas Morning News' top 30 prospects, and I believe was on MLB Pipeline's top 30 prospects list before the season. He has elbow inflammation and is awaiting test results. So, just go ahead and book the Tommy John surgery now. Because why can we have any nice things? Why would we ever have any nice things? I don't know. It feels like at this point, having nice things is just something that eludes us. As soon as things start looking nice, unfortunately we get, Corey Seager's hamstring hurts. Paul Bonzagani might end up having Tommy John surgery. Winston Santos, the best pitching prospect possibly in Frisco. I'm starting to think maybe it's one of those two left-handers in Cole Drake or Mitch Bratt. He's going to be out for basically 2 months. Love that. Everything's going great. I'm in such a great mood. And it's definitely not just because of these late night West Coast games. But coming up, we're going to talk a little bit about this pitching staff, why it did enough, and why maybe this offense, it wasn't the lineup shakeup that actually was the thing that fixed it. All that and more right after this. This show is brought to you by Wonderful Pistachios. Looking for the snack that's both delicious and nutritious? Crack into a good source of protein with Wonderful Pistachios. Wonderful Pistachios are one of the highest protein nuts. Each 1 ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better for you unsaturated fats to help keep you feeling fuller longer. Personally, I love the no-shelf variety. It's the perfect grab-and-go snack for busy days. Whether I'm snacking at my desk, on a road trip, or just need a quick protein boost, they're always my go-to. And if you love cracking open every shell for that satisfying crunch, the in-shell options are a classic favorite. So get snackin' and get crackin' with a snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. Shout out to the everyday making Locked On Rangers your first listen every single day. On tomorrow's show, I'll be back and talking about Kamar Rocker's next start, hopefully building off of that last great start he had, and hopefully my camera is participating in the show. I'm probably going to go get a new one after this episode. So if my face freezes, hopefully it will not be in too silly or embarrassing of a pose between now and the end. But we are just going to power through and we're gonna have fun with it. We're gonna have so much fun with it. Just like the Rangers pitching staff had just maybe a little bit too much fun in this one. Patrick Corbin getting his second win as a member of the Rangers. ERA going up to 3.77. Both runs that he allowed were on solo shots, one of which was I'm not sure that it would have been a home run in other parks with Miguel and Duhar. It just, the way that it looked like the air took it out of the stadium in left field, I don't know about that. I'm also not sure how much I'm buying the Miguel and Duhar breakout at age 27. It feels a little confusing to me. The other home run, that was very much going to be a home run anywhere, because if you throw Lawrence Butler a 3-0 fastball right down the middle, he's not just going to sit and take it, he is going to smash it. But hey, working around those other hits, thankfully the Rangers bullpen was able to save him from having 4 earned runs in this one. He came out for the 6th inning. I don't really know why. I mean, the Rangers had a 6-run lead at that point. You thought that would be enough to make it not a save situation at the end of this game, but Sutter Health Park is a weird place to play, and this A's team, they've got some boppers on their roster, but not some hitters with runners in scoring position. Rangers pitcher did a great job in this one. They did give up 4 home runs, all of them given up by either Patrick Corbin or Jacob Webb. A couple of them suspect that they would be home runs in other parks, so you give a little bit more leniency there. But the thing that they did well is not only just getting the win, but they were incredible with runners in scoring position. Rangers pitchers were incredible at getting the A's to do bad things with runners in scoring position, but I want to take it to one particular at-bat, one particularly flabbergasting moment, a strikeout of the guy who does not strike out ever. Just very, very shocking to see the 4th strikeout of his young career for Jacob Wilson, a guy who was hitting over 350 heading into this game. And not only that, but getting called strike 1 and then a swinging strike on a fastball, just breathing on the corner of the zone. Just a great bit of pitching. And not just that, he went down 2-0 to Jacob Wilson. Patrick Corbin did. This is some good stuff that we are seeing from Patrick Corbin. Maybe I'm being a little bit too hasty of saying, let's just go ahead and shove Patrick Corbin back in that locker. I mean, in the bullpen, because what he did, getting the swings and misses against Jacob Wilson, a guy who has probably the best contact skills in baseball. I know he's just a rookie. I know there's some other guys who don't swing and miss very much at all. I mean, we're talking about Luis Arias, talking about Stephen Kwan. Those are the 2 main ones that come to mind, but Jacob Wilson is right up there with them, and I think he has an even better strikeout rate than either of them, and a better lack of a swinging strike rate than either of them, because that dude, all he does is make contact. But getting 12 whiffs on 45 swings, 85 pitches, I mean, it was a good day for Patrick Corbin against a tough lineup. Again, going primarily with the slider. Just throw the best pitch the most. I love that idea. I love the simplicity of it. Just, hey, you got this one pitch that's really, really good, so just keep on throwing that a whole bunch, and you're going to have a good day. I mean, getting 6 whiffs off of that one, getting 4 whiffs off the cutter, those two have played very, very well. Didn't lean on the changeup nearly as much in this one. We didn't see a slow curve in this one, just 1 changeup, 8 four-seam fastballs, 21 cutters, 23 sinkers, and 32 sliders, just very much sinker, slider, cutter kind of a guy. All of his stuff is moving. All of his stuff is pretty much living on the edges. He's not getting hurt, except for when he throws a 3-0 fastball right down the middle. That's going to be hurt by a lot of different people. But hey, this was a good outing again for Patrick Corbin. Now, maybe it should have ended after 5 innings so he couldn't give up a single and then a double. And then Rangers pitchers doing a good job of keeping the runners in scoring position from hitting. 1 for 11. That was the stat that I was getting at before I went on this tangent. The A's hitters were 1 for 11 with runners in scoring position and left 10 men on base. 10. That is that could have gone a very different way. The A's actually out-hit the Rangers in this one. Rangers had 10 hits, the A's had 11. But Rangers pitchers, as soon as you got in scoring position, they really buckled down and did their job. Jacob Webb giving up a couple of home runs. Those were his third and fourth of the season. His ERA is now over 4. I'm not too worried about it. The Rangers using quite a few arms to get this win, quite a few more leverage arms than I would have rather them used. I mean, using Armstrong and Milner and Webb and Garcia and Jackson in this one. But hey, a win is a win. And with the Rangers not doing so well on the road and with their bats finally waking up, hopefully the next time out, we can just see another 7 innings of 3-run ball for Kumar Rocker. I would absolutely take that in a stadium like this. I'm a little worried for him, but hey, I was a little worried for Patrick Corbin, who had given up quite a bit of hard contact, and Rocker gives up more than his fair share of hard contact at this point. We could see a little bit of a regression for him there, but after his start against the Angels, if he commands that slider, if he has that feel for that slider anywhere near what he did in that Angels game, this A's lineup might also be toast, but I'm hoping that the Rangers lineup is now just fixed. Everything's just fixed. I mean, this lineup, I think, was more than due for a game like this, and this wasn't even nearly as big of an offensive explosion as it could have been. I mean, the Rangers stranded 8 runners on base, and had we not had a choose-your-own-adventure looking strike zone against Kyle Higashioka with 2 outs and the bases loaded, where he had 2 called strikes against him, 1 whiff that was above the zone that, that was just a whiff, that it doesn't matter what the calls are. But when you're given 3, 4, 5 inches even off the plate, just to right-handed hitters on the Rangers, not really to right-handed hitters or even left-handed hitters on the A's. It makes things a little bit more difficult, but I'm hoping just seeing these hits go down will just up the confidence of everybody on this squad. Seeing their base hits land, seeing the ball go over the fence for guys like Jake Berger, who's had a bit of a slow start, guys like Marcus Semien, who's had a very, very slow start. I mean, Corey Seager hopefully can just come back into this offense, but if that's not the case, then I think you just slot everybody up just a spot, and then you figure out where to go from there. You just have Josh Smith as your everyday shortstop, and if the shortstop drop-off goes from Corey Seager, who is all-star best player in the world, to Josh Smith, who has right now an OPS north of 1,000. He is a 3.45 hitter, a 367 batting average right now, on base north of 450, and a slugging, it was north of 400, and a slugging percentage north of 500. That is not really a drop-off. That's almost an improvement at this point, with Corey Seager's luck not yet finally showing how well he is doing in terms of hitting the ball hard, hitting the ball in the correct spots. Hopefully we don't have to worry about that. Hopefully we don't have to have this this big debate of, was it just a fluke? Was it just this Sutter Health Park and hopefully this subpar A's pitching staff that made the Rangers bats break out? But because of the at-bats they were having, because of the things that they've been doing, because of how good of hitters they just are, seeing games like this where, maybe the wind or the park aided the results, maybe bad pitching aided the results, it doesn't matter. If it gets this Rangers offense kickstarted, then it doesn't really particularly matter what made it happen, just that it did happen, because it was due to happen at some point, and I'm hoping that they can build on that and just do it again and do it again and just keep on doing it, as opposed to this being just unfortunately a one-off thing. I don't think it is. I think this offense has been due for a breakout like this, and they might have another even higher scoring game with how helpful this park is being to these hitters. That's going to do it for today's show. Thank y'all so much for listening and subscribing, and until next time, don't forget to enjoy baseball.